Hi, I'm Susan Brownrigg and I'm a time tunneler. Today I'm going to look at the history of the Rainhill trials. Now, I don't know if you've heard of the Rainhill trials. It's nothing to do with a court case. It's to do with these. Now, do you know what this is? It looks rather different to the ones you might travel on today. So it comes in two parts. This is the locomotive engine and this part is called the tender. And this is an example of a locomotive engine, or what today we would call a train. And this was one of the very first locomotive engines. Do you know what it was called? It was called Rocket. And it won a competition called the Rainhill Trials. And the competition was to find out which would be the best new locomotive engine to run on a brand new railway line, the first passenger railway, the Liverpool and Manchester Railway. So this little card is a replica of the information that was given out about the Rainhill trials, sometimes called the ordeal. And it says, "The following is the ordeal which we have decided each locomotive engine shall undergo in contending for the premium of £500 at Rainhill." Now that was a good amount of money to win if you won the competition, but the real prize was to be the person to have their engines running on the Liverpool and Manchester Railway. On Tuesday, 6th of October 1829, the trials began. They took place in the little village of Rainhill, and engineers gathered to see the engines compete. But not just engineers, in fact, lots of local people came too, as well as the press. There was a real fairground atmosphere to the trials. A huge grandstand had been built for people to watch the competition taking place. There was a refreshment tent for the ladies and even a band performing. So I'm in Rainhill now, and behind me is the level mile where the Rainhill trials took place. So you can just see the tracks down below me. I'm up on the footbridge. Let me just turn around for you. Just going to go in through these bars. No one was quite sure how many engines would take part in the trials, but on the day itself, only 5 were ready. They were: 1. Novelty by Ericsson and Braithwaite. 2. Sans-Pareil by Timothy Hackworth. 3. Rocket by Robert Stevenson. 4. Cycloped by Brandreth. And 5. Perseverance by Birstall. Which do you think was going to win? Now, of those 5, only 4 were steam locomotives. But what is a steam locomotive? Well, I went up to Locomotion, a special museum at Shildon in the northeast, to take a look at the original locomotive engines, Sans-Pareil and Rocket, and to find out more about steam engines. Do you know what this is? It's a piece of coal, and this is what powered steam locomotives. When the coal was burned, it would be hot and it would produce heat that would then heat water. and the water was in a boiler within the engine, and then the boiler full with water would release steam, and that steam would power the locomotive and make it go. But Cyclopede was different. It didn't use coal. It was more like a dandy cart. So what is a dandy cart? Well, it was horse powered, and it was a way of transporting coal from the collieries to the shipyards in the northeast. And that's how the need for steam locomotives came about. They needed a more powerful way to move the coal. And the very early locomotive designers, including George Stephenson, the father of Robert Stephenson, came up with a design of an engine that could move and take the coal with it. So it was only later that they realised that those steam locomotives could also move people. And that became an idea 200 years ago with the opening of the Stockton and Darlington Railway, and I've got a picture of it here to show you. So next year will be the 200th anniversary of the opening of the Stockton and Darlington Railway. And on the opening day, it was such a big celebration that people were allowed to travel in the carriages pulled by the very first engine, the locomotive engine, called locomotion. That's where the museum got its name from, and it was designed by George Stephenson, and his son went on to design Rocket. Rocket's my favourite steam locomotive. She is gorgeous. I love her colours, her livery. She's bright yellow with black detail, said to have been influenced by the colour of stagecoaches, which were carriages pulled by horses. And I love her name too, Rocket. It just makes you think that she is going to be fast, doesn't it? Of course, we tend to think about rockets going to the moon, but Rocket was the name of a really good, fast stagecoach again. And also there may have been a little bit of influence from Congreve's military rockets. So those are rockets that you use as a weapon in wartime. For this week's writing challenge, I would like you to imagine you're an inventor at the Rainhill trials. Design a locomotive engine. Think what colour it's going to be. Rocket, remember, was bright yellow with black. And think about a name for it. Then I'd like you to write a short story all about how you took part in the Rainhill trials and how your engine won the competition. Well, I hope you've enjoyed watching this week's video. Don't forget to hit the like button and to subscribe, and I hope to see you again very soon. Take care.